Who is Octopus Energy?
We set up Octopus Energy back in 2016, and it was to fundamentally fix what we could see was a broken market. We had 6 players that had monopolised the way that energy was sold for the last 3 decades. And we very simply wanted to bring a model that would provide green electricity to customers at a great price, and also providing the very best customer service.
How is Octopus Energy different to other energy companies?
We're different because we don't actually see ourselves as an energy company. We see ourselves as a technology company. And it fundamentally allows us to recreate the model. Very often, energy providers will be beholden to third parties in the market, and they will be doing the really important task of interacting with customers. We do all of that in-house. So it enables us actually to bring our operating model right down. So that reflects back to the end customer by being able to provide fairer prices and supplying green electricity.
What does your technology enable you to do?
So Octopus Energy's technology has also brought about a world first, which is this ability to actually offer half-hourly pricing to domestic customers. So essentially, customers can use electricity at times of the day when it's cheapest, and they will be texted with price signals, which will essentially tell them to do things like charge electric vehicles or turn on their washing machines when the price is lower, which also means that the grid is less stressed. Our Octopus Agile tariff has been really revolutionary, and it even interacts with artificial intelligence like Alexa. So customers can ask, Alexa, please turn on my washing machine when the energy price is the cheapest, and also the electricity that I'll be using that's coming off the grid will be the greenest.
So you've talked about green electricity. What are the other sectors you're looking at to help tackle climate change?
Indeed, green electricity and the use of that with consumers is really important because actually power is one of the highest emitting sectors in the UK, but by far the lead is actually transport, and it equates to 28% of our carbon emissions.
So what exactly are the problems with the current EV charging model?
At the moment, it very much relies on people being able to charge on their driveways, so actually having a home with a driveway which you can put a charge point in and tap into one of our tariffs like Octopus Go or Octopus Agile to make sure that you can get the cheapest and greenest charges possible. What we are finding though is that when people are out and about, they actually sometimes really struggle to identify where charging points are, and indeed sometimes how to use them. And sometimes they worry about things like it not providing green electricity, and actually because they've made that choice to drive a fossil fuel-free car, it's really important to them that they put green electricity in it, not brown electricity. And secondly, also about price and how much that's going to cost them.
So you mentioned pricing. What's the problem there?
With electricity pricing, very often it's because charge point operators, which are fundamentally new startup businesses, are coming into the sector to do great things and to be able to accelerate this transition to people driving EV cars, and they're providing essential infrastructure so that people can go out and do just that, which means that fundamentally the market works against them. If they came to an energy provider, another energy provider that wasn't us, they would actually be penalised and a lot of risk built into the pricing of the model. They would be given a flat rate, which was actually artificially high because it would be factoring lots of things in. For instance, charge points, because they're very much a growth model, won't necessarily know how many charge points they're going to have in their portfolio by the end of the year. They'll also not know, because of the way and the rate that EVs are adopted, how many people are going to come to charge points and indeed how much electricity they're going to need. And all of that actually ends up in a much higher price, which is built into their business model. What we've aimed to do is actually build in agile pricing so that when people are coming to those charge points, they are only using and paying for the electricity that they would use throughout the day. But then we can also do lots of things on the customer side to encourage those customers to go to those charge points so that they're actually drawing electricity outside of peak times.
How exactly is Octopus Energy tackling this issue?
We've created a product called Electric Juice, which is fundamentally a dedicated supply service for charge point providers. We take a data-led approach, and we can recommend the best tariff for them to make sure that they're actually able to tap into the lowest costs of green electricity that will be in the market, so that it can support their model and really accelerate the ability to provide more of this necessary infrastructure to support EV charging. We've created a green seal of approval, which the charge point operator will put on that specific charge point. So when customers go, they get that peace of mind that they're putting green electricity into their cars.
Which partners work with you on Electric Juice?
So on Electric Juice, we currently supply a third of the UK's public charging infrastructure. We have a variety of technologies, so anything from lamppost charging right the way through to ultra-fast, so with partners like Ionity.
What are your future plans for the Electric Juice product?
So in really understanding charge point operators through working with the Electric Juice product, we did identify that there are also lots of difficulties on the consumer side. So in going to charge your EV, very often customers will be carrying around a multitude of cards. They will also struggle to identify where their nearest charge point is, and indeed things like prices. So we've gone a step further, and we've created something now called the Electric Juice Network, which we launched a couple of months back. What this provides will be the ability for customers to identify where charge points which Octopus Energy powers are located. So fundamentally, it brings them that information. But it will also enable the ability to pay through one system, which is currently using their Octopus Energy accounts. So they can charge on their driveway and use Octopus Go, but then they can actually go to any one of those charge points, flip the toggle on the app to show them that it's going to be billed to their Octopus account. They can fuel their vehicle, and actually when they're looking at the end of the month of how much electricity they might have used, it will all appear magically in one place on one bill.
That's amazing. When will all these features be available?
We already have some of these features available. We have signed up 2 charge point networks so far, so a lamppost charger called Chargy, and also a rapid charger called Ingenie. So all of these things are active. It is literally growing every day. We are taking new partners and adding more functionality, and we hope later on this year we'll also be creating a fully usable app for customers.
Do you have to be an Octopus customer to use the Electric Juice network?
No, you don't, and this is one of the beauties of us having our own technology platform. The way in which we interact with customers, we don't recognise meters, we actually recognise the customer name, so you don't have to be an electricity customer to use the Electric Juice network. So if listeners are interested in learning more about green electricity, electric vehicles, smart tariffs, or indeed the Electric Juice network, please go and visit our website at octopus.energy.